I was wondering if you had any specific advice to medical school applications.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. It has to do with the calendar. Yeah, you want to apply in the first 10 days of June, even if you have to wait a whole year to do it, because of this research project that was just done at Washington University in St. Louis, which has the highest percentage of pre-meds in the country. The majority of their incoming freshmen are all pre-med. And so they did an analysis, reverse engineered their success patterns, and found out that when the student applied was second only to their GPA in determining whether they got into their first choice medical school. So you will apply in the first 10 days of June, even if you have to wait a whole year to do it. So if you're traditional 1, 2, 3, 4, in April of the junior year, you take the MCAT and you write your essay and you get your letters and everything ready to go, and you drop them in the first 10 days of June. Next tip for med, and I was not joking when I say you have to talk about that you have exposure to regular people, working class people, immigrants, non-English first, because if you don't, you're not getting into medical school anymore. They changed the criteria, and so it's absolutely, you have to prove this. You can't say, I'm interested in all types of people. No, you have to say, I have touched a truck driver this week. And then one more thing. I'm not picking on you, am I? And one more thing, bodily fluids. Okay, so you want to actually have an experience with bodily fluids, because there's two types of clinical exposure: the people who read to cancer victims and the people who mop up bodily fluids. So the most common sentence in applications to medical school is some version of, I always wanted to be a doctor because I like science and I want to help people. But people in medical school admissions hate that sentence because it's a cliche. They see it 25 times before breakfast every day. And some of them will say things like this, they have not always existed, so they're proposing an ontological impossibility right in their opening phrase. So they can be a little bit picky. But another student wrote, and this is, you guys, do not write shocking stuff just to be shocking, okay? But he wrote, when the old man urinated on my leg, it ran down my pants and into my shoe. In my opinion, that's too shock factor. But he pulled it off, because here was his whole sentence, paragraph. When the old man urinated on my leg, it ran down my pants and into my shoe. But I could not let go of him as I was helping to move him from a wheelchair onto the bed. That's when I first realized that medicine was not going to be starched white lab coats and every problem solved in 50 minutes like an undergraduate chemistry demonstration. And that's when I realized that medicine was not going to be about the perquisites of medicine like golf at 4 for my uncle the dermatologist. That's when I first realized that medicine was going to be about people, real people, and their sometimes very messy problems. Put some bodily fluids in there. Thank you all very much, and get at it, okay?